Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So it's day 5 of Indiana Fever training camp, their final tune-up before their first of 3 preseason games coming up on Saturday afternoon in New York. And right now, neither the Fever nor the Liberty are really tipping their hand about who exactly will or will not play just yet. But let's be real, we've seen this before. These rosters are heavy right now, they're full, and coaching staffs want to give players ample opportunity to prove themselves. And in particular with these 2 rosters, they're very top-heavy, meaning we already have a strong idea of who is locked in and who is fighting for those last few spots. Now, when you look at the situation overall, it does bring us back to something that honestly feels a little too familiar. The hospital squad of the Indiana Fever is back in conversation again, as 4 players are out against the first preseason game against the Liberty tomorrow. And immediately, that triggers memories of last season and how injury-riddled things got for Indiana. It wasn't just a minor inconvenience last year. It was a major storyline that affected rhythm, chemistry, and overall performance. And then the news drops. 4 players not participating in tomorrow's first preseason game against the New York Liberty. Aliyah Boston with a lower leg injury, Ty Harris dealing with a knee issue, Lexie Hull with a hamstring,
and Damiris Dantas
are not available because she's stuck in visa hell in a completely different country. That's not exactly the kind of headline you want heading into your first preseason action. And I'm not gonna lie, I had just gotten over my concerns about Aliyah Boston, because the way her injury was being discussed, it felt eerily similar to how Caitlin Clark's injury situation was talked about last season. Vague, controlled, a little too quiet. And when you've seen how that played out before, you start reading between the lines whether you want to or not. At the same time, I do understand that things can get blown out of proportion, especially with a large and passionate fan base. Sometimes organizations keep things close to the chest intentionally. They don't want to give opponents scouting advantages, and they definitely don't want fans spiraling over incomplete information. So I was trying to give the benefit of the doubt here, thinking maybe this was more strategic silence than actual concern. But even before this update, one of the reasons I believed Indiana might draft or bring in a backup for Aliyah Boston was because of this exact uncertainty. It felt like there was something lingering, something not fully transparent. And when you're building around a core player like Boston, you can't afford to be caught off guard. She's foundational to what this team wants to do on both ends of the floor. Now, one positive, Caitlin Clark's name is not on that injury list. Neither is Kelsey's name, and that matters a lot because those are your engines offensively. That's your pace, your scoring pressure, your playmaking identity right there. But Lexie Hull's hamstring, that's the one that raises eyebrows for me. Hamstrings are tricky. They're not all created equal. You've got different grades, and each one carries its own timeline. A mild strain, grade 1, could mean 1 to 2 weeks. Grade 2 jumps to 3 to 6 weeks, and grade 3? That's months, sometimes even surgery. Now, realistically, this probably isn't worst-case scenario, but even a mild strain isn't nothing. 1 to 2 weeks is still meaningful, especially when the regular season is right around the corner on May 9th. Timing matters here. From a strategic standpoint, though, I completely understand the cautious approach. Preseason games don't count. There's no reason to push anyone through soreness or minor strains when the real games haven't even started yet. Still, it's hard not to feel a little uneasy when you remember last season. That sense of, here we go again, creeps in whether you like it or not. But before jumping to conclusions, it's important to recognize that a lot of these players are just getting back into high-level play after months off. Training camp intensity ramps up quickly, especially for players trying to secure roster spots. And that's another key factor. The newer pieces on the roster are pushing hard. They're trying to stand out, make an impression, earn minutes, or even just make the team. Meanwhile, players like Lexie Hull and Aliyah Boston with multi-year contracts aren't in that same pressure situation. So holding them out makes even more sense. On the other side, the New York Liberty have their own situation. Their injury list includes Satu Sabali as questionable for reconditioning, Rebecca Allen also in reconditioning, and Leonie Fibic listed as out dealing with reconditioning as well. Plus, several European players haven't even joined the team yet, including Leonie Fibic and Raquel Carrera. So this isn't just an Indiana situation. There's a broader preseason theme here. Teams managing load, managing transitions, and dealing with international logistics. Now, with Aliyah Boston out, you're likely going to see more of Mo Billings and Maisha Hins-Allen. And honestly, this might not be a bad thing. It gives you a real look at how those players fit into the system. Mo Billings, especially with her screen setting and ability to roll, could be a perfect partner for Caitlin Clark in pick-and-roll situations. That's something worth watching closely. With Ty Harris out, it opens the door for Raven Johnson. And this is where things get interesting. Because while Raven's defensive intensity is already known, this becomes an opportunity to evaluate her court vision, her decision-making, and how she handles point guard responsibilities against a veteran-heavy team. Now, going into this game, I didn't expect Raven Johnson to have a massive impact offensively. The Liberty's size and experience create a tough environment for a rookie guard. But now, she's going to get real minutes, real reps, and that's valuable. And then, mid-analysis, more information drops. Chloe Peterson reports that all of these absences are precautionary. It's part of return-to-play protocols for Aliyah Boston and Ty Harris, and Lexie Hull is dealing with tightness that the team simply didn't want to risk in a preseason setting. That changes everything. Because if this were a regular season game, they would be playing. That's the key takeaway. So yes, you can relax a bit. The panic, the stress, the flashbacks to last season, you can dial that down. But at the same time, it does feel like the messaging could have been clearer from the start. Including the precautionary context up front would have saved a lot of overreaction. And let's be honest, those overreactions were predictable given what this fan base went through last year. Looking ahead, I'm also curious how other teams handled their injury reports during preseason. Because if this is the trend, we're going to see a lot of controlled minutes and cautious decisions across the league. There's also a chance we see KK get some opportunities in the post or in expanded roles. She's a player who clearly has athletic tools, length, wingspan, explosiveness, but still needs refinement in terms of court awareness and overall IQ. Preseason is exactly where you test that. And I do like the fact that this team is erring on the side of caution now. Because last season, Caitlin Clark didn't. She pushed through soreness, tried to power through a quad issue, and it didn't end well. That's part of the learning curve for a player who hadn't dealt with injuries before. Now, it feels like the organization is taking a more structured, long-term approach. Protect your stars, manage workloads, think beyond just the next game. Ty Harris is another key piece in that puzzle. Coming off surgery and missing significant time last season, her role as a backup guard is important, not just for Caitlin Clark, but also for Kelsey Mitchell. Depth at guard matters over the course of a long season. So overall, yes, there was a moment of concern. But stepping back, this looks controlled, intentional, and smart. And even with these absences, there's still a lot to be excited about in this matchup against the New York Liberty. Caitlin Clark will be on the floor. Kelsey Mitchell's pace and scoring ability will be there. You'll get to see the developing chemistry between Clark and players like Mo Billings and Maisha Hines-Allen. Raven Johnson gets a real opportunity to show growth. And defensively, there's still plenty to evaluate. On the Liberty side, even without certain players, you're still looking at a highly professional, well-structured team. There's still going to be high-level competition and potentially some fun moments, especially with the personalities involved. At the end of the day, it's preseason. It's not about the final score. It's about evaluation, chemistry, and staying healthy. And if Indiana can come out of this game healthy with a better understanding of their rotations and some positive chemistry building, then that's a win. Because the real target is May 9th. That's when it counts. Tell me what you think. Don't forget like and subscribe.